So we're going to do our top 10. Daniel Jeremiah, DJ, sent us, if you remember 2 weeks ago we had him on, he said that he had a list of old draft terms that he would use in the scouting department in the war room. So we said, can you send it to us, because that's hilarious. And he sent it to us. We all have it. What we're going to do is PFT and I are going to do a top 10 picks of the terms. So it's basically PFT and I are like in our own war room. We're going to pick a term, and then you're going to give us the player that coincides with that term, the player that best is used to describe that term in this year's draft. So let's do it. What was it? We had a unanimous.
We had a unanimous number one.
Yes,
it's Devonta Mack no matter what. It's one pop daddy.
The one pop daddy. Okay, so that's going to be an offensive lineman typically. That's going to get his hands on you, and it's over. Now, in the modern day NFL, you talk, or I guess not modern day, but like Larry Allen would be a one pop daddy. In this draft class, I would say Tevin Jenkins out of Oklahoma State. He is a big time blocker. He finishes everybody, but when he gets his hands on you, it's over. So Tevin Jenkins, one pop daddy.
Okay. Steven, do you ever get uncomfortable referring to like 19-year-old kids as being daddies?
No, no, not in this town. When we're talking football, it's, everything's kind of off limits.
Yeah, that's true. All right, yeah, this is a normal world in here. All right, number 2. So we haven't discussed this, but we'll discuss it on the side here, Steven. So no cheating off this. I think we should go. I just love Dumpy.
Dumpy's good. Dumpy's good.
Because it's just such a hurtful thing to say about someone.
I feel like we both know what Dumpy is.
Yes.
Like Brandon Walker.
Yes.
That's what I think.
No, he's at the gym now.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
let's go. All right. Our number 2 pick is going to be Dumpy.
Okay, so this is he's going to be a target for like a lot of this stuff, but he played right tackle at Michigan. Jalen Mayfield. He's probably going to move inside to guard because his arms aren't really a required size to play on the outside.
What's required size?
He's your classic like bad body guy, but he's a better football player. So in the off-season circuit where everyone's testing and they got their shirts off, like a perfect example of this with dumping is like Andre Smith, the tackle for the Bengals, who went like 6th overall. He ran the 40 with his shirt off, and just kind of had his man boobs flopping everywhere. That's kind of what you're going to see. So Jalen Mayfield, Dumpy. He could be a couple of terms, unfortunately.
What would you like to see out of your arm size for your offensive lineman? Do you have a number? Like, is it similar to the hand size for quarterbacks?
Oh, yeah. All this stuff has numbers. So, like, all the testing, there is, like, a baseline group that you're going to want to be in. Like, if a corner, and it varies by position. So, like, wide receiver hand size is different than quarterback hand size.
Right.
40s are different. As far as offensive tackles, arm size, you're going to want to see 34 inches and above. I believe Mayfield's like 32 and change. So that kind of limits him. Elijah Vera Tucker is a good one, who played guard at USC and then moved to tackle this past season. Played very well, but his arms, I think, are 32 and an eighth. So that kind of restricts him, and you're probably going to figure he's going to kick inside the guard.
But what if you got wide shoulders? Don't those inches like make up on the inside sometimes?
No, because most of the times you're going against edge rushers that are going to be in the 34 and above range. When we're talking such close quarters, an inch, 2 inches makes a lot of difference. So if an edge rusher can get his hands inside much easier than you're able to block that, that's a problem.
Okay. So all right, next up.
I've got a couple I'm looking at here.
Throw them. I've circled a few as well.
So I've got card carrying coward.
Okay, I like that.
I think I know what it means, but I want to know what the card carrying part of the coward means. And then I've got wait, Steven, we haven't made our decision.
Yeah, we haven't made our decision yet.
Thin pegs.
Thin pegs. Although let's hold on to thin pegs because I think I know who that would be. Devonta Smith.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that. Sink that ass is the other one that I just like because it seems like something that you would do. That you would do like at the Jersey Shore.
Yeah, back it up.
Floor. All right, so let's do card carrying coward.
With the third pick in the term draft, we select card carrying coward.
So card carrying coward's kind of a tough one. What it means is that it's a player that doesn't have a lot of courage. So typically you're going to see this in like the cornerback position, guys that necessarily don't like to tackle. Historically, and he'll debate this. So you can look at kind of one of our coworkers as not necessarily, I don't believe in this. I don't believe that he was, but a lot of people will say he's not like a tackling guy, which is Deion Sanders. Again, I don't believe that for the record. He has disputed that, but that's a term where if you're looking at a cover corner specifically, and they don't really mix it up or get in the pile a lot. That is what you would kind of term a card-carrying coward. There aren't a lot of guys in this draft that are going to be, people that are going to know. These are going to be very late round guys, if any. But card-carrying coward's kind of a tough one because we're going to look at a corner that really doesn't like to mix it up, and those guys don't get drafted a lot.
Now, is that always like a cornerback, a defensive player, or could a triple C be a wide receiver like a Ted Ginn that loves the sideline?
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly use that term for a receiver that gets out of bounds, like Marvin Harrison. Technically, could be like a card carrying.
I would not call Marvin Harrison a coward if I were you, Steven.
He'll shoot you.
You're going to be deader than Jimmy Garoppolo.
Mm-hmm.
I should clarify when I'm speaking. I'm speaking only within the white lines.
So we will. You don't have anyone in the draft, so we'll just put Deion Sanders next to this, and we'll just make it clear that Stephen Chase said that. All right, next up. Next up. How about? All right, do you want to do sink that ass? The other one I really like is just sand.
Let's do sand. I feel like sink that ass will still be on the board in a couple picks.
So sand.
Sure. So sand refers to like weight. It's very hard to move a lot of sand. So if a guy needs more sand in his ass or in his backside, they need a little bit more weight. They have a little bit of a more flat ass. These are going to refer to typically like offensive or defensive linemen. Sand, as far as this draft class, I would say let's go like Liam Eichenberg, the left tackle.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
He was the guy,
the Sandman.
He's I think like 305. Could use a little bit more weight, especially in the bottom half. That's a guy who could use a little bit more sand.
Okay.
So that's actually an example of somebody that doesn't have sand.
That's what the term it refers to is sand. They typically need more.
Oh, they use it in the pejorative.
Got it. Okay.
Right. If you have what would be called too much sand, then you're talking like bubble or like a big ass. That's what that would refer to.
Booth. Like Booth from the Giants was the ultimate Sandman.
Sure.
Biggest ass in the league.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. This is a fifth pick.
What about Red Star?
I like that.
Red Star is that? I'm gonna wait. Let's try to figure out what it is before he gives it. What do you think Red Star is?
I think like cap.
Maybe always injured. It might be like from a video game if there's a red star next to somebody.
Where is it? Under what?
It's under
competitiveness? No.
Where is Red Star?
I like just there's one that's just fraud.
Yeah, it's right underneath fraud.
Okay.
It's underneath fraud and fake tough. Oh, is it a communist?
No, I think it's someone who
is he communist?
Red Star. Yeah, it might be.
All right.
Yellow belly?
Yeah, Steven, Red Star.
Sure. So Red Star is every team has a bunch of under the GM, there's the director of player personnel, director of college scouting, et cetera, and there's a bunch of area scouts. Everybody has a Red Star. So that is a guy that they're basically staking their reputation on. Like, this is my guy. I am sure he's going to do good. DJ, for example. So I don't know if that's a term that everyone uses, but DJ's talked about a lot on his podcast. His Red Star guy is linebacker out of Kentucky, Jamin Davis. That's a guy that's like, this guy's not going to bust. I know that this guy is legit. He's a guy we should draft on our team. I am fully vouching for this guy. I have one Red Star.
Okay,
he's my Red Star.
I call it the stand on the table guy. That's how when I was coming up. Well, the Red Star thing seems kind of new. In my day, it was like Kyle Shanahan stood on the table for Matt Schaub.
Yep.
Wait, so give us Stephen Che's Red Star.
Red Star guy. I mean, we have a bunch of like kind of short things in this draft.
No. I want Stephen Che's Red Star.
Okay, my Red Star guy, honestly, Justin Fields. I think everyone's overthinking Justin Fields. The fact that he's not going to be a top 3 quarterback. If you want a little bit deeper than that, if we want a little bit outside the top 10, Rashad Bateman, wide receiver out of Minnesota. I just, everybody looks at the size, speed measurables and things like that. He's just a guy that separation as far as route running, catching over the middle stuff, he's going to translate instantly. So he's probably going to be a second round guy, maybe a late first, but Rashad Bateman outside of, Justin Fields would be my Red Star guy.
Got it. Okay, good one.
Wait, is that your Mel Kiper? Like if he doesn't turn out to be a Pro Bowler, you have to quit, right? That's what Mel Kiper did with Jimmy Clausen?
Well, we'll just demote him again.
Fair. But I also have my take that Devonta Smith is not going to be a top 10 pick, which is now, as of an hour ago, in the Barstool Sports book in Illinois and Michigan.
Okay. I don't think he's going to be a top 10 either. I'm on the record as saying that. You want to just do it? You want to explain your Devonta Smith take, and we'll just go with what was he?
There's a lot of terms that Devonta Smith could be in here.
Oh wow.
Thin pegs.
Thin pegs. So I assume.
Pegs.
Yeah.
Yep. So Devonta Smith is a guy who during the season was listed at 6 feet and a half, 175 pounds. He weighed in officially a couple weeks ago at 166 pounds. I had the take during the national championship, which I get is kind of a wet blanket move. Right after his second touchdown, before his third touchdown in the first half, something to the tune of, I think Devonta Smith is going to be awesome, but I cannot see a team spending a top 10 pick on a 175-pound wide receiver. Yeah. And I got crushed. Absolutely crushed. Everyone is calling me an idiot. I have all the tweets saved. But the fact of the matter is, the past 5 years, there has been one draft where there has been a wide receiver taken in the top 10. Additionally, he is not like a height, weight, speed guy. He's not like a Hercules type guy. When you look at top 10 wide receiver draft picks, you're talking about Andre Johnson, Calvin Johnson, Larry Fitzgerald, guys that are huge, guys that are also very fast. Devonta Smith is very good. He deserved to win the Heisman. Incredible season. But as far as drafting, you're drafting traits over production. A great example of that is a guy out of Penn State, Jason Owe, who had 0 sacks this year and is probably going to be a first rounder or a high second rounder. I mean, teams draft traits over productions, trust their coaching staff to maximize that. So you can't just be like, okay, he won the Heisman Trophy. He's a lock, top 10 pick. He's great. Not everything's going to translate to the NFL. I do, for the record, think he will be a very good player. He's just such a natural. But his body type does not make sense as far as what teams look for, especially with a top 10 pick.
Counterpoint, I think that we've kind of shifted a little where teams are now being a little bit more outside the box. I actually saw an anecdote. Someone shared it that in the Seahawks war room the year they drafted Russell Wilson, they basically just sat there and they're like, does anyone have anything they don't like about Russell Wilson besides his height? And no one could come up with anything. They were like, no, like everything else we love. So I feel like Devonta Smith, and he might not go top 10, but it's a similar conversation where, is there anything you don't like about him besides his weight? And I don't think there is.
The problem is not necessarily his weight, because like he was listed at 175. He had several months to gain weight and puff up. He got to 166. So he was several pounds below that. There's another guy, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, the linebacker out of Notre Dame, who is similar thing, rumored to be playing in like the 200 to 201 pound range. He weighed in at 200,
201 pounds.
Yeah, that's a huge range.
Well, I'm just saying, like, he's weighing in at like basically my weight playing linebacker. That is very tough to sustain as far as injury wise. Now, he had some time, got up to 221, which is still light for a linebacker, but it's like, okay, at least this guy can put on weight. Devonta Smith just does not have the frame. And I think Chris Sims argued it. He does not have the frame to add more weight because he had several months to do so and still couldn't do it. So I don't see how he gets into an NFL program and then all of a sudden gets to like 185 or 190. Like,
he just needs more sand. He needs sand.
He's at Alabama.
Chris Sims, I think, had him going 6th, though, to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I've actually seen a few people that have him in the top 10.
Yeah, so I mean, part of my take was that I had 5 quarterbacks going in the top 10, and then the bottom 3 teams in the top 10, which were Carolina, Denver, and Dallas, all drafted receivers pretty high recently. Carolina has 2 very good picks. DJ Moore not super recent, but I just didn't really see it. Now, if Miami trades down, that could certainly change things, and Devonta Smith certainly does have a chance. 7 is a maybe problem spot for the Lions, because at the time I thought they were going to franchise Kenny Galladay. They did not, so they do have a need there. But Dan Campbell, a guy talking about biting guys' kneecaps off, with his first overall pick, is he going to draft a 166-pound wide receiver? That doesn't make sense.
Well, he plays bigger than his weight. That's the thing about him. Yeah, he is small, but I mean, he's probably the toughest. If you're going to be 166 pounds and you're going to win the Heisman Trophy, you're probably the toughest 166-pound person in college football. So
yeah, I mean, he plays on special teams. He's been a gunner, so he's definitely tough. He run blocks, so I do like him as a player. I just don't see him being a top 10 pick.
So you were talking about how you had this take when you were watching the national title game in between touchdowns 2 and 3 that he wasn't going to be a top 10 pick. Is that what your brain is like all the time? Like when you're watching the national championship, a fun football game, a college football game, your brain is just thinking like, how do these guys project at the next level?
Of course.
So for people who don't know, Stephen Che, his team, he is a diehard Bucs fan. He loves the Bucs. He's obsessed with the Bucs. He had a mock draft out 12 hours after the Bucs won the Super Bowl.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, the Bucs have been bad for a very long time, and I've been so into the draft that it just made sense that I'm always looking forward, typically around like Halloween, Thanksgiving, looking at, tankathon, see where we're going to net out, looking at mock drafts, seeing who's going to be available. Obviously, there's no better pick than 32, so I'm very happy about that. But I don't have a college football allegiance to a specific team, so all I'm thinking about when I'm watching college football is how are these guys going to translate to the pros.
And I should have said this at the top. Stephen Che actually went to school. It was one of those like Trump University where you just pay someone a shitload of money and then you take a fake online course for scouting. So he actually has done the homework.
What degree do you have? What's the
offensive
title?
line and defensive line?
Offensive line, defensive line, secondary, cornerbacks and safeties, and then wide receivers. It's the Scouting Academy, and it's awesome. I mean, you can be one of the instructors is Louis Riddick, so you can take scouting classes and kind of go over notes with Louis Riddick.
He took so many. How many hours did it take for you to do that?
I mean, it's 20 hours a week, so I did.
We need to get you
semesters.
to. You need to work with Billy Football. Like the fact that you were taking 20 hours a week, have a child, have a full-time job. God damn it.
You also need to include that in your email signatures. There needs to be like an acronym that you put after Stephen Che. Wait,
PhD.
PhD, or what's the official title of the certification you got?
I passed the module in the Scouting Academy.
Pass the module.
Sick. All right, we got
awesome.
8, 9, 10. Let's do that, and we'll wrap it up. All right, so 8. You want to do the Sink That Ass?
Yeah, let's do Sink That Ass.
Sink That Ass.
Good
Give
value.
us a Sink That Ass.
Yep. So Sink That Ass is going to be a guy that's able to, anchor down, which is basically, if he's getting bull rush, he's able to anchor down, sink his ass, and basically stop the impending rush. So a guy that I'm going to see do this is Rashaan Slater out of Northwestern, offensive tackle. I mean, he can really sink that ass. He's, 305 pounds, I think. He had his best game against Chase Young. That's what he's going to get a lot of hype for. He opted out this year, but he's a guy that, when you get into him, even though he's not huge, I think he's about 6'4", he's able to sink that ass, get low, and stop a bull rush. Rashaan Slater, Northwestern, sink that ass.
Okay.
I just love hearing Steven say "sink that ass."
Yeah, sink that ass.
He said it like 6 times.
All right, we got 2 left.
So I'm kind of interested just to know the difference between naughty calves and balled up calves.
All right, yeah. So let's do the combo pick.
Yeah, naughty calves and balled up calves. Which one's good?
So they mean a lot of these terms mean the same thing. It's just very strong calves. So you look at their calves and you can basically see, the muscles in there. This can pertain to a variety of positions. Naughty calves. Let's go with Jamar Chase. I mean, he's 208 pounds. I believe he's 6 feet tall. Very big calves, just very filled out body. Jamar Chase, naughty calves, balled up calves.
Okay, and then actually it is the Roback question. I'm going to give you the Roback question, Stephen Che. Stephen Che also works in ad ops, so he was probably sitting there like, why the fuck hasn't he asked it yet? Use code PFT on Roback.com for 20% off your first purchase. Roback, RHOBACK.com. Code PFT. They make the best performance polos and the only performance polos we wear. And for our guest today, Stephen Che, we'd like to gift you a Roback Performance Q-Zip on us. I have that at my desk next time you're in the office. Okay. Last one, should we go? I actually kind of like
I like fraud.
Fraud?
But I know what
Stephen
that
Che's
is.
not going to do a fraud. Yeah.
Pile inspector?
Why don't we? No, let's just go old-fashioned. Give us your number one coach killer in this draft.
Coach killer.
Oh, this is tough.
Who's a quarterback from Liberty?
I hope that this becomes like bulletin board material for whoever you name here.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to go through the guys. Coaching regime changes is not something that I typically go through.
No, but it doesn't have to be someone who's gotten their coach killed already. It could be like someone who's likely to get their coach killed at the next level.
Right.
Oh, at the next level?
Yeah, that's a coach killer.
Like it could be a boomer bust guy who, like, if you use a high draft pick on this guy and he doesn't pan out, he ends up being a coach killer.
You know what was crazy? all-time example of a coach killer, Jason Campbell. I think 5 consecutive head coaches got fired in the NFL that Jason Campbell played for. And it wasn't really his fault.
No.
He was just in like the worst situations repeatedly. But I don't think that'll ever be matched again.
You can go if you want a cop out, you can go with whoever you think the Bears are going to take a QB, because if the Bears take a QB and he's not good, he's the coach killer.
So I think if we're putting it in those terms, this one's pretty easy, and it's Mac Jones, because it is, from what we've heard, Kyle Shanahan versus the personnel department in San Francisco for who's going to be the third pick. Kyle Shanahan is, I don't want to say alone on the island, but he very much is beating the drum for Mac Jones. If Mac Jones does not turn out, and Trey Lance and or Justin Fields turns out to be a very good player, we could be witnessing the beginning of the end to Kyle Shanahan.
I'm so excited to put this on a quote card and have it like listed so that people see this and just freak out at Stephen Shea.
Mac Jones, coach killer, Stephen Shea's official coach killer of the 2021 draft.
That's a good answer, though. That is a good answer, because you're right. Like, if Mac Jones is not what Kyle Shanahan thinks he is, it will be tough to recover from that.
Also, Stephen, I got a quick follow-up on that. You said that Kyle Shanahan more and more is on an island all by himself. How do you know that? Or are you just saying what you've heard people say on television?
I mean, I also have some sources within the league that I've talked to, but a lot of it is, stuff that you read. So, I mean, I texted you today, yesterday, congratulations for making both Monday morning columns. And, it was kind of very prominent in those columns. It was talked about on Schefter's podcast that Kyle Shanahan kind of is on an island there. So everyone takes Schefter kind of at face value, as you can see my background.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, this is what you're hearing around the league, and people I talk to kind of echo these things.
Do you think it is weird that you have Adam Schefter's family in your background?
No.
Okay.